Okay, so now our cookie setup is complete, right? We are setting our cookie and sending it with each of our API calls, and our backend is handling it. So what we want to do is we do not want the user to log in, or this is going to be a hassle for the user if they come to our website and log in each time, right? We want to keep the login information in our browser. So when the user comes in, we can check if the user was logged in, and then we can show them the functionalities. They do not have to log in each time. So to do that, you have to handle that, right? Each time the user comes to our website. So we have our cookie setup. Now we can verify it from anywhere. Okay, give me a second, please. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now let's close all of this. Okay. Okay, so let's close all of the folders. Now, if we go to our pages and our app, so these providers are going to render fast when we go to our website, right? So we want to handle all of the verification in our homepage. When the user comes to our homepage or any other pages, we want to handle that. So we have to handle it globally, right? We can handle it in our main layout in our store provider, or if you want to create another layout for verifying the user, you can simply do that. But I am handling it in our store provider. So this store provider is actually also supporting our Redux, and I'm going to touch on Redux later. Let's not worry about Redux first. Okay, focus on the user verify function. So what I'm doing is I am taking a use effect function, and this use effect function will be run if time after the UI is loaded. So after each time, I am calling a function called user verify. Okay, what is this user verify doing? So if we go to our user verify function, it is doing store.dispatch. Okay, we do not see any API calls or any Axios or fetch any API calls. So how is this verifying the user? So as you can see, this store is actually coming from here, our Redux store. So this is our Redux store, right? So if you want to understand how this we are using, what are we dispatching, and what is this Redux doing, we have to understand Redux first, right? So let's go back to our slide again. So what is Redux, right? So why do you want to, why are we using Redux in our specific project? So every project does not actually require Redux. And if you have any data or any state, as you know, React runs on states. React states are how React handle or Next.js, they handle if anything changes, any changes on the UI, right? So if you have any state that is used by multiple complex components in the component tree, that means you have 4 components, like the child component, the parent component, the grandparent component, and on and on. And they are all actually using a state that you are passing through through your component tree that we call prop dealing. So sometimes prop dealing is okay if it is passing from one to two components. But as you can see in our project, if you go to our app, we have our store provider, our Google Auth provider, our main layout, and our component. So if we want to handle something globally, we like for a state we want to share globally, we have to store it. Let's say we declare the state in store provider. So if we want to use it in our let's go to our, where is the pages, auth and register, and let's go to our registration form. Okay, so if I set up this state in our store provider, I have to pass this as props to our store provider, our Google Auth provider, our main layout, and then our register page, and then our register platform. So as you can see, this becomes very hassle for a user. If you are inheriting something from your grandfather, they have to pass it to your parents, then to you, then your children, and it goes on. So it would have been better if not in this context, if it could have been passed from your grandchildren to directly you. So if we want to handle that, React has a built-in functionality, that is, we can use the context API. So if you are developing a small scaled project, you can use the context API. So, but for our project, we are using Redux code. It is going to be a complex project, and there are going to be multiple, not multiple, there are going to be many sharing states that are going to be shared or depend, many other components are going to depend on those states. So that's why we are using Redux. And also with Redux, we have other functionalities, like we can make the API call CCD with Redux thanks, and it is very easy to use. And in most of the big scale applications, they use Redux, not Redux or other state management form, but we are using Redux. Okay.